Welcome to our live Pittsburgh Sportsline TV show in the BPTV studios.
Looking good, Machine.
Thank you, Smoking Jim. I got my hair cut by Mary Ann at Azazu. Saw the owner, Emilio. He said, nice to see you. I said, it's 46 days from my kidney transplant. They go, you look great. So I said, I got to get a picture with Mary Ann and post it on Facebook. So thank you to all the people that liked it, and I appreciate it, and I'm truly blessed. Appreciate all the prayers.
Look like you've been sneaking a little sun in.
Nah, that's just my natural color, buddy. Sort of like you. I'm about 10 shades lighter.
Yeah, I was out in the sun today, right?
I can't get any sun anymore, Smoking Jim. I could get cancer.
I know, that's what you said.
They got those anti-immune drugs messing up my immune system, so I can't get sun anymore.
I'll get it for you.
You get all you want there, Chip. Well, thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, and all points in between. We appreciate it. Thanks for all the Facebook likes. We hit one of the highest levels we've ever been at, 6,880 likes. So thanks for watching our shows and liking our page. We appreciate that. I got a few promos here for you, so we'll see if Steve Areno can come in here. First up, Olive Oil's Pizzeria, 412-831-1900. Frank Finero said hello to Smokin' Jim Frazier. He was working tonight making some pizzas for some ballerina Halloween party. They must have had 30, 40 pizzas there, so easy with that choke in there. They got all kind of specials. Make sure you go to Hillcrest Shopping Center, Olive Oil's Pizzeria. Tell Frank Finero, Al Levine, the talking machine, said get your pizza and Italian food right there. Next up, the Bethel Park Historical Society, Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, 2600 South Park Road. It's one of my favorite places. There's a place called Reginald's Coffee. Nice owner, Matt and Julie. They have the best green tea there. I go out there once every couple weeks, get a couple cups of green tea. And it's got a nice atmosphere there. They got all kind of sweet treats. Smoking Jim, you'd like some of their donuts and cookies and other things like that. You know, since you're watching your figure, you'd enjoy it. 2600 South Park Road. Check it out. Next up, the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. This is Joey before DIPG, the brain cancer that took his life before he was 10 years old. He was only 9 when he passed away. His family's got together and run plenty of fundraising events. They've raised over $130,000 to give to doctors to try to find a cure for this DIPG that is a death sentence to the children diagnosed with it. So check it out. You can donate as little as $1. Find out their events. They do all kind of things. Just go to their website, Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. Next up, the Bethel Park Community Foundation, bpcf.org. They have money for you from $100 to $5,000. They gave out over $100,000 to local people in Bethel Park and organizations. If you're doing great things here and you have a group, you can come in, get an application online and come there. I'm one of the trustees on the board. We'll listen to you and maybe give you some money to help your group and do better things in Bethel Park. Next up, the Bethel Park Community Foundation has a Bethel's Bounty. This is Sunday, November 3rd, Crown Plaza, right up there by South Hills Village. Can't miss it. Even Smoking Jim knows where it's at. I've told him. And they have raffle tickets. They got great food. They have maybe like 30 or 40 different local restaurants, bakeries, Bethel bakeries there. And I recommend their Buckeyes. They're delicious. Make sure you go there. It'll start at 5 o'clock, Crown Plaza, till 8. And there's plenty of food. unlimited food, beer, and wine sampling. So check it out. Door prizes, much more. Only $50 a ticket. Great sponsors. There's over 300 people that'll be there. So I think it might be sold out. So it might be too late for you, but check that out. I'll be there Sunday, guaranteed. I'll be hustling up some raffle tickets. So you want to come out and see the talking machine and some action. Next up, Dave Cable makes a little fun of the talking machine. I want you for BPTV. We got a new young man named Connor. We got Jack's back. We got Steve, was the Rookie of the Year. Now he's MVP of the studio. He got up to another level with what he does. Look at how great this looks on TV. And that's Tell Them Uncle Al sent you. Call 412-831-3304. Tell Dave Cable you want to help work at the studio like Connor just started last week. He's being homeschooled, which Smoking Jim's glad about. But he's a good young man, and he's working on our sound system and our camera. He did some camera work for me. Connor, you're welcome back again next week. Definitely. We appreciate you. And that's what we have here for you. We also have a sponsor for What's on Your Mind. That's the first question of the day that I ask people. It's sponsored by Skeets Lewandowski of Skeets Service Station. You can call them at 724-348-4715. It's a red, white, and blue station past Trax Farm, Mineral Beach, which is closed, and the Dairy Queen's right across the street about a quarter mile away. Great place. They work on anything and everything that runs on gas. They fix it. They work on it. They even have a smorgasbord that I can't eat on Mondays. So I'll have to send Smoking Jim to clean it up. But we'll see what he does with that. But that's what they got going on there. It's a great place, and they do great work there. So check them out. Again, 724-348-4715. And we're going to start our show with What's on Your Mind? Smoking Jim Frazier. Oh, one more second. Jono's painting looks great. We just move it to the front level from being hidden in the back. Look at this, Three Rivers Stadium with the special way that he paints with sand. Beautiful. It's just a beautiful painting. And I'm glad to have it on our show.
Who did that, Vince?
Jono Proskak.
Vince changed his name?
No, this is another guy.
Oh.
It's not Vince. It's not Vince. We don't all look alike, Smoking. And I'm glad you got rid of the Stevie Wonder glasses.
You know, another thing that's native to us is that we change our names every other week.
It's amazing. What's on your mind? Smoking Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
all right, coming at you.
You got to see Levine. I feel like Juju with that over-the-shoulder catch right there.
There was a body in front of him, so you didn't look that way.
Yeah, there's a body too.
He wasn't close enough.
White quarterback.
He wasn't close enough.
The body.
Yeah, that's why I'm a strong safety.
Yeah, there you go.
He wasn't close enough.
John Lynch over here. But, hey, I tell you what, man, I got to take my hat off to the Rookie of the Year, MVP, Steve Fisher. He's in here very, very sick, man. He's coughing.
Keep him away from me.
Kind of reminded me when Michael Jordan had that high temperature, man, about 108 or whatever it was, in the finals, at the NBA Finals. He still played. He scored about 50 points, and that's what Steve Fisher is doing today.
Dropped that three-pointer in over Craig Elo.
That's it, man. So, hey, man, shout out. I hope Steve gets better soon, man. But, yeah, just come in here.
Me too.
Today.
I can't even talk to him.
Did you feel his forehead, man? It's on fire.
I'm not even getting near him. My immune system's suppressed, buddy.
Yeah.
I'll get sick just looking at him.
I can be the doctor. I don't catch anything from white people. Only from black people.
Well, again, the racist Smoking Jim Frazier has appeared early in the show. Thank you.
But, hey, I finally made it past Mineral Beach. Yesterday, man, I went to Skeets. I figured I'd surprise you out there. And
I wasn't there.
I tell you what, man, I had to tackle them pickled pig's feet all by myself, man. I was making ankle tackles all morning long. But, hey, even got a chance to take a picture next to a mint condition 1929, 90 years old Ford pickup truck, man. It's
beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah,
Almost as old as you are.
Almost, man. And then
We don't know when he's born.
Then they put a gun in my hand too, so I may be hit with every crime in Mineral Beach, man. If somebody see that picture.
Well, they're closed. Mineral Beach is closed.
But hey, here's something I really enjoyed. He showed me his new pets. Did he show you his new pets?
2 raccoons.
He got a couple coons.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, he fed them.
I can't believe you're talking like that.
Yeah, they can grab the food
They
and all
eat,
that.
yeah, they eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, they drink water too.
Yeah. I was able to help his dad hang the flag, the American flag. So I was
Butch
very
is a
honored
great guy.
to do that. And hey, he inspected my car, passed with flying colors, and I'm going to go back out next month because he says not only do I need brakes, but I need rotors. Usually I get them all together. Why get brakes when you can get brakes and rotors together, right?
It costs more, yeah.
It don't always stop real good. And I'm going to get the front end in line too. So
Hold it. How's the car going to get to Princescape on Saturday? We got boxing.
yeah, it's still good.
Okay.
He said I got to about December on them
Oh,
brakes.
good.
Yeah,
I trust
so
him.
we're good.
I trust him on that.
We're good on them brakes, brother. But hey, what's on my mind? I've been saying this for 3 years, and everybody gives me a lot of, they give me a lot of static. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I heard a talk show last night, and somebody agreed with me on the talk show when I was listening, so I can see where people are starting to get steam. The first time I seen this kid play, I said T.J. Watt was the best linebacker in Steeler history. 6'5", 255 pounds, 37-inch NBA type vertical jump, explosive guy. Now he has that move where he don't always go upfield. Now he got the move where he ducks under and goes inside. So when the quarterback steps it up inside, they can't get away from him. And I tell you what, I'm gonna close with this. If I had a choice right now, if you gave me a choice,
You got a choice.
between T.J. Watt and Lawrence Taylor, I'm taking T.J. Watt. And that's what's on my mind.
You've never said anything outlandish before. Never. That's a first for Pittsburgh Sportsline
You guys
in
agree?
2019.
You guys agree? You guys
No.
like T.J. Watt?
He
T.J.
could
Watt?
play his entire career here. I'd be okay with that.
I like that. I like it,
I'd
but
be okay with that.
I disagree with your point.
They're going to write him a check one of these days.
Yeah.
A big
He's going
one.
to get a big one, yeah.
He's going to get a big
Too
one.
bad about his brother. His brother, I think, is done. Too many
That's 3 out of
injuries.
4 years.
Yeah, but he'll tell you what, when he played, he was as good as anybody that ever played the
You know,
game.
Yeah.
Put
when
him
he
right up.
played, he dominated.
Put him right up there with Merlin Olsen.
Whoa, that's going back.
Yeah.
Member of the fearsome foursome.
Foursome, yeah.
Yeah.
He was in
Rosie
diapers.
Greer,
He was in
Lamar
diapers.
Lundy.
Yeah, good job. Deacon Jones. Yeah, they were great.
Smoking was back in diapers then.
I read books.
Lamar
No way.
Lundy's
I
the
looked
one.
at the picture.
No
Lamar
way.
Lundy's the one people forget.
Yeah, you did. I forget him too.
Well, he's a trivia guy. That's
Yeah.
part of trivia.
Yeah.
Here's one for your trivia. Who came in for Jim Brown when he retired? He also is in the Hall of Fame. People forget about him. Leroy Kelly.
Oh,
From Morgan State, an all-black
Yeah,
school. in
Yeah, I was
Baltimore,
thinking. I was
Morgan
thinking
State.
more along the lines of Ernie Davis.
that's what I was going
Yeah,
to say.
yeah. Ernie died before. Him and Jim Brown would have been a dream backfield, but Ernie
Because they
died.
both came out of Syracuse, didn't they?
They both, but Jim Brown was older. When
Okay.
Ernie was the first black to win the Heisman Trophy.
Right.
And he got sick before the Browns drafted him in the first round. Him and Jim Brown would have been unstoppable, but he died. I forget what he died.
I forget. I remember.
You didn't see the movie?
Yeah, I saw it.
I didn't get the
I
chance
read the
to
book.
see it. You got the book. Movie's better than a book.
That was a good movie.
All right, thanks. I missed
All
it.
right, thank you, Smoking Jim Frazier. Chip Hayner, what's on your mind?
Oh, thank you, Alan. And good evening, everybody. And what's on my mind? Of course, tonight it would be Game 6 of the World Series. The Houston Astros took 3 in Washington to go up 3-2 on the Washington Nationals. And the interesting thing about this series is that in the first 5 games, the home team has not won a game yet.
Yeah, shocking.
So tonight's matchup will be a matchup of 2 great pitchers. Steven Strasburg pitching for the Nationals, and Justin Verlander
Future
pitching
Hall of
for
Famer.
the Houston Astros. And Justin Verlander in his last 2 starts has not pitched well. When he pitched in Game 2 against Steven Strasburg, he started out rough, gave up a few runs in the first inning, then he settled down until the seventh inning, and he gave up a couple of more, and the Astros won 4-1. So, the Nationals won 4-1. So it'll be interesting to see. Strasburg shut down the Astros in Game 2. It's do or die for the Washington Nationals.
Yeah.
Part of the problem with the Nationals now is that I do
production.
believe they're going to win Game 6. I believe that we're going to see 7 games in this series. And unfortunately, the Nationals' star pitcher, Max Scherzer, may not be available to pitch
Did you
in
hear
Game
what
7.
he was doing today? He was pitching.
Was he? Well,
Yeah,
here's what happened to him
One
Sunday.
guy, one announcer, I was watching ESPN, he said, we didn't even think he could walk. He was throwing 98 miles per hour today.
Well, you may see him pitch tonight.
The shot they gave him, they said they showed his neck where the shot went in. It looked terrible. But they said it would take 48 hours to work on him. Guess what? It did.
He had a pinched nerve, and he couldn't even lift his right arm on Sunday.
He fell out of bed.
So he couldn't pitch Sunday night.
Right.
So subsequently,
What a competitor and warrior he is.
they started Joe Ross instead.
You all right?
But,
left arm is where you're leaning on.
Yeah.
Left.
But
That's right
there could be some great pitching matchups. I mean, there's going to be a great pitching matchup tonight.
Yeah.
Steven Strasburg came highly touted, the number 1 overall
And
pick.
he's producing.
And he's producing as a strikeout artist. And Justin Verlander has stood the test of time. He's actually like a fine wine. He's gotten better as he's gotten older. So
He can still throw 97, 98 miles
when
an
he
hour.
needs to, but you know what? He
It's
knows how
rare.
to do better now than when he was younger. When he was younger, he could overpower everybody. Now he's a better pitcher because he
Up, down,
knows
left, right.
how to change speeds,
Manipulate the
Yes,
batter. Yeah.
yes, actually, and it's more of a chess game when you're pitching than anything else. So that's what's on my mind tonight is World Series.
Wow.
Hey, Chip, before we go to elevating the talking machine, what breaks my heart, and this really breaks my heart, is nobody's watching the World Series. The numbers are so far down this year. It's a shame. Ain't that a shame?
No, I've watched
Used to
every
be
game.
America's pastime. Now ain't nobody watching it.
Well,
Football took over.
and I can tell you what's going to happen here.
People watch
If
the Penguin game
the
tonight.
way the officiating is going in the NFL, the same thing's going to happen to the NFL because when they have an 11-minute replay review, get rid of replay. It's done.
Long as
You're
you got
ruining the game.
Sports betting was
You
made
are
for football.
ruining the game.
Sports betting was
Period.
made for football, so they'll always grow. Can I give one shout out?
Yeah.
My main man, Zach Taylor's in the house, man. We ain't seen him for a while. Maybe we can get him in to let us know if he was with the other students at the McKee Sport game. His
No.
fellow Gateway students.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't at the game
Because,
with the rest of the
like,
Gateway students.
I know you think you're being honest, but you haven't told the truth about him. He still goes to Bethel Park.
Does he?
He's
Okay.
a freshman
Okay.
in high school. Has no interest in going to Gateway.
Next year.
Not at all. So thanks for the shout out, but the information was sort of off. Just like you are, my friend. All right, thanks, Chip Hayner. And thanks for Smoking Jim for always muddying the water and bringing the race card out. What's on my mind? I got to think about this for a second. Oh, I watched that game, the Steelers, and I didn't think the Steelers showed up because somehow Mike Tomlin got this great record, but he can't get teams ready to start.
They play 3 quarters.
Before I looked,
The second, third, and fourth.
before I even moved off the couch, I go, man, I hope this first quarter's over because the Steelers need to appear. And all of a sudden, the second quarter started, and the Steelers were able to play football for the next 3 quarters. And it was 14-0. Then I saw why Miami is trying to tank because it may not be official, but the call they made on a 3rd and 20 was one of the best calls that I've seen for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Then they called a timeout. They reset the defense.
They brought only, I thought it was 8, the TV they were saying 9, but I could swear there were only 3 guys back, and they sent our receiver on a slant, Dante Johnson, which he looked like a Hall of Famer on one play. And you had James Washington throw a block at the goal line. Juju was right there trying to get in front of somebody. And that changed the whole complexion of the game, Smoking Jim.
Yes, it did.
And then I was happy to watch the Steelers for the next 3 quarters. But that first quarter, that was worse than watching paint dry or a soccer game.
See, that's why sports betting should not have anything to do with football because, see, the Steelers got confused. You see, they were 14-point favorites, so they thought that meant that they were supposed to spot the Dolphins 14 points before they decided to play.
And they did, yeah. No, I think that
they didn't know that they were supposed to beat them by 14.
Right. And then you could see that they could only score 27 points. They couldn't get another field goal or anything. So they only win by 13 points, and the spread was between 14 and a half. So it made, and
that's why the bookmakers live in mansions.
And then I heard, contrary to Smoking Jim and his knowledge and what he's betting, since he bet the Steelers, I heard over 60% of the bettors in these sports books, they were betting Miami. They were taking the points. Wow. So guess who won? Over 60% of the people won.
Wow.
The house always wins.
They get their cut off the top.
Yeah, the house always wins.
In the state of Pennsylvania, what do they get? About a 25% cut off the book right off the bat.
I don't know. Maybe we should check with Pete Rose.
The most prolific singles guy in history in Major League Baseball who will never be in the Hall of Fame.
I know I'm having an off year when it comes to betting. I lost big last night.
Well, you know what? You're in the Pete Rose sports booking.
Well, here, let me give you a little piece of advice. Don't bet tonight, you won't lose.
I'll give you a better piece of advice.
Or do you got a 10-team parlay going on the NBA?
No, Chip, here's the best move I can make for him. Give me the $250 that you would bet, and I'll hold it till next week. And you'll be ahead $250.
Good point.
Every week. Just hand me the $250. I'm honest enough, I'll give it back to you.
Yeah, you are.
I might even add $1 just to say so you feel like you won something because you got that gambling in your blood. All right, we're going to be back with some fiction and fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. Thanks, Chip Hayner. Thanks, Rookie of the Year, Steve Fisher. MVP. My man Corner's in the house. Corner said he would take LT over TJ Watt. So
I
I'm
agree.
A little surprised about that.
I'm with him.
My man Zach's out there. Jack's out there. And how about Zach Taylor's in the house? Always good to see.
You said Zach.
But, you know, what's on my fiction and fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac? You know, I took a lot of heat. Listen, I believe that I'll fight for anybody's right to speak as long as they're honest. You know, one thing about Antonio Brown, I don't think he'll ever be able to get back in the NFL, but everything he said was honest. Everything he said had a ring of truth to it. So if you have something that has a little ring of truth to it, I'll back you up.
When did he say that?
Everything he's ever
Tell me one
said.
thing. Tell me one thing.
He said the Raiders used him for the ratings for Hard Knocks, and he can make a case about that.
Because they did not determine who was going to be the team selected for Hard Knocks until 3 months after Antonio Brown was signed.
Did you watch Hard Knocks?
They did.
I watched all 4 episodes.
I would not waste my time.
You thought it was the Antonio Brown show.
That's
so
because
maybe
he's an attention hog.
Yeah, and it was. So that's what I said. Everything. You didn't even know anybody else was on the team. But I say
neither did he.
I say that to say this.
And wait, and just if I may interrupt.
Sure.
You said that everything he says has a ring of truth to it.
Yeah.
That's one thing he's never going to have is a ring.
He may not be back in football.
Yeah, now he's fighting with the XFL. They said they don't want him, you know.
No, you don't want to know why? You know what the annual salary is capped at? $55,000 a year.
They'll uncap that for him.
No, they won't. You know what? He spends that much on a masseuse.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
What about his sexual harassment cases? What's the truth about
I
that?
don't believe any of that.
No.
He don't have to pay for it.
No.
You know.
Why is he going after
Well, how
him?
come the people that are going after him aren't looking for any money?
Huh?
How come the people going after him aren't looking for any money?
You don't think?
They said
No,
they aren't.
They aren't.
I don't believe him. I believe Antonio because he tells the truth.
And you
But-
can't say that with a straight
But
face.
this is the fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Wow.
Is like I said,
We're going to new levels, folks.
if you're honest,
You can talk.
you can talk. And I tell you what, the Gateway student section this past weekend, and I tell you what, they went to McKeesport, and we all know they're not the only person that calls McKeesport Diseaseport. You know, that's the nickname for McKeesport. That took a lot of guts out there because you can get beat up going through McKeesport, making fun of them like that. They showed a lot of heart. They got kicked out of the game. I don't think they got banned for life from going to
They aren't
WPIL
coming. They said
football-
they're not coming back.
going to WPIL football games. But here's the reason I say that. I played for the legendary Pete Marino, and I at least seen him one time every year up until he passed away 2 years ago. And for some reason, Coach Pete Marino was a classy coach. He never ran the score up on anybody, but he hated McKeesport and North Allegheny. If we could score 100, every year we played, we scored at least 50 on McKeesport and North Allegheny. When they take the starters out, we go for it on fourth down with 30 seconds to go in the game. I mean, he just hated for some reason, and I never asked him. The journalist in me should have asked why, out of all the teams, he hated North Allegheny. He used to call them the NA Rats, and he hated McKeesport. And that spirit of Pete Marino still lives with the Gateway student body now because Gateway hate McKeesport, and boy, did they put a beating on McKeesport at McKeesport. Go Gators.
Thank you, Smoking Jim.
Diseaseport.
That's very disrespectful. My mother's family came from there.
They got out of there though, didn't they?
No, they died. They died.
died
My
in
mother
McKeesport?
got out of there.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
That happens, buddy. When you get older, you can only live so long, Smoking Jim. Thank you, Smoking Jim.
Jim got a kick out of the behavior of Gateway's fans last Friday. That was embarrassing for anybody.
It shouldn't happen.
There's no cause for that. Let them take it out on each other on the field and let that speak for itself. But that being said, so what I did today, and a mystery has been solved for me because I wanted the top 5 pitching performances in World Series history. And I just discovered now that the person that put this list together did not consider any games prior to 1969, okay? And that was the year that they lowered the pitching mound, okay? Which kind of makes sense to me because, you know, not including the greatest game ever pitched in the World Series as the best game of World Series performance.
The no-hitter.
No, it's not a no-hitter. It's a perfect game. A perfect game in the 5th game of the 1956 World Series. Don Larson pitching for the New York Yankees against the Brooklyn Dodgers. That game will go down in history. That feat will never be repeated. But the top 5 pitching performances in World Series play since 1969, and we'll start with number 5. And this is a gentleman that pitched against the Pirates in 1979 when the Pirates won their last World Series. His name is Scott McGregor. And on October the 16th, 1983, in Game 5, with the Orioles at the Phillies, although the lowest game score of the top 5 performances, Scott McGregor's Game 5 performance led the Baltimore Orioles to a World Series title. By pitching a complete game shutout, he joined the ranks of 15 other pitchers to throw a complete game shutout in the World Series since 1969. He also only one of 4 pitchers to throw that complete game shutout in a World Series clinching game.
Wow.
Just
That's
that
great.
alone should earn him a spot in the top 5. However, in addition to that, he also only threw 113 pitches, threw 9 innings, of which 83 were strike,
Wow.
which comes out to an incredible 73.5% strike rate. In addition to the gaudy strike rate, despite giving up 2 walks and 5 hits, 2 of which were extra base hits, McGregor only allowed runners to reach scoring position 3 times. So that's why McGregor's 1983 Game 5 performance landed in the top 5. Number 4, this was in the season after he blew the Pittsburgh Pirates away in the 2014 wild card game, Madison Bumgarner. Game 5 of the Giants versus the Royals on 10/26/2014. If you watched the postseason in 2014, which of course I did, you likely recall the unbelievable performance of Madison Bumgarner, displayed especially in the World Series, in which he led his team to their 3rd series in 5 seasons and captured the World Series MVP, the first pitcher to do so since Cole Hamels did it with the Philadelphia Phillies in 2008. The rest of his postseason aside, this is likely the best game Madison Bumgarner has ever thrown. Only 4 base runners the entire game, one of which was a double and 3 singles. He also didn't walk any batters, had thrown 84 strikes out of 117 pitches, 71.8%. Strike rate, Bumgarner also had a staggering 17 swings and misses and another 22 called strikes, which is over 46% of his total. With this performance, the Giants captured Game 5, putting them up 3-2 in the series, forcing a must-win for Kansas City. As I said, this is likely the very best game Bumgarner has ever thrown, but it is also one of the very best in World Series history. Number 3, we go all the way back to 2003. Josh Beckett. Josh Beckett at this time was pitching for the Florida Marlins against the Yankees. Josh Beckett, this was in Game 6 on October the 25th of 2003. Josh Beckett single-handedly pitched his team to victory in Game 6 of the 2003 World Series with a complete game shutout. By winning Game 6, the Marlins also won the World Series, beating the Yankees 4-2. Not only was this the deciding game of the series, it was also played at Yankee Stadium, which was a notoriously difficult place to pitch, especially for the opposition. Although only ranking 8th in terms of games scored, to say Beckett's performance in Game 6 was dominant would be an understatement. He allowed 7 total base runners over 9 innings, only 2 of which were doubles, the only extra base hits of the game. Beckett also put up a complete game shutout with an average leverage index of 1.373, which ranks in the top 30 in series history. The second highest average leverage during a complete game shutout, behind only Jack Morris's performance in Game 7 of the 1991 series. Which leads me to number 2,
What a
which would be
coincidence.
Jack Morris in Game 7 on October the 27th, 1991. Although only ranking 9th on the list in terms of game score, Jack Morris's Game 7 clutch performance is a no-doubter as the second best in the World Series. First and foremost, it was Game 7. So there's an enormous pressure given the context of the game. Then to throw 10 innings of shutout baseball is incredible, even during the regular season, let alone in the postseason. As a matter of fact, it's the only time since 1969 that someone has thrown 10 innings shutout in World Series, and only the 3rd time in the entire history of the World Series that someone threw at least 10 innings of shutout baseball in a single game. Clem Labine did it in 1956. Christy Matheson did it in 1913. So that's pretty rare air that he's swimming in. The game score is really the only knock against Morris's performance, and it only stems from the number of hits, walks allowed versus a limited number of strikeouts. However, when you're facing the same batters 4 and even 5 times, it's not only going to be really difficult to strike them out even on your best day, it's also difficult to keep the batter from reaching base in some manner. So hats off to
Jack Morris.
Jack Morris. I remember watching that game. Jack Morris was a bulldog on the mound.
Yeah, he was.
He pitched the Detroit Tigers to the 1984 World Series, and just a monster, absolute monster. Number 1 on our list, Randy the Big Unit Johnson on October the 28th, 2001. Game 2, Diamondbacks versus the Yankees. The only 90-game score in World Series history after the mound was lowered. Randy Johnson joined 5 other pitchers since 1913 to throw a 90-game score in the World Series. Only Babe Ruth in 1916, Don Larson in 1956, and Bob Gibson in 1968 had a higher game score than Johnson in the entire history of the World Series.
That's amazing.
And I do remember Bob Gibson's performance
Me too.
in the 1968 World Series, because guess what, Jim? I watched it.
He was a beast. Man.
Johnson faced the fabled Yankees in the World Series, starting Game 2, backing up Curt Schilling. Johnson threw a gem, allowing only 4 base runners in 9 innings. Johnson was perfect through the first 3 innings with 7 strikeouts. He then allowed his only walk to Randy Velarde, the second batter in the 4th inning. With 1 batter already retired, Johnson went on to retire the side, then gave up his first hit in the 5th to Jorge Posada, the first batter, but again retired the side without issue. The only other runner reached scoring position was in the 8th inning when Shane Spencer and Alfonso Soriano reached on back-to-back singles to start the inning. Johnson kept his confidence, struck out the next batter before receiving some backup from his defense in the form of a ground ball double play. Johnson retired the side in the 9th, 1-2-3, grabbing the second game of the series and putting the Diamondbacks up 2-0. Johnson's game was incredible for several reasons. First, obviously the game score, but that stems from allowing only 3 singles and a walks. The only 4 base runners all game. The 11 strikeouts also add to the game score, but some that isn't calculated is the strike percentage. Johnson threw 110 pitches, 76 of which were strikes. It is also only one of 3 complete game shutouts thrown in the World Series since 2000, which speaks to the difficulty of the modern era. So, top 5 performances since 1969, but nothing will ever take the luster off of Don Larson's perfect game. 27
I
up,
gotta agree with you.
27 down. It will never be repeated.
I do got a question. One guy that should be in the Hall of Fame, Roger Clemens, when he threw the piece of the bat,
The Piazza.
I get the guy that looks like El Levine, the talking machine. Was that in the World Series?
I do believe it was the Mets and the Yankees.
Why
And
ain't Roger Clemens on that?
Because he had
Steroids.
He had steroid rage.
steroids.
He said he thought the bat was a baseball. That's why he threw it. So he made himself look even worse.
It's
Sort of
a-
like you do when you make those outrageous things, and then you say, go back and check the tapes.
and
Well,
the
we checked the
people-
tapes. You're
The
wrong.
people that were guilty of abusing steroids, the sports writers are never going to vote them in.
And people saved the game of baseball, and baseball turned their back on McGuire and those guys.
You know what McGuire said?
He saved the game.
No.
I don't care
you know
what
what
he said.
Mark
He saved the
McGuire
game.
said? Mark McGuire said, I knew what I was doing is wrong. The punishment that I have received is just.
Yeah, because he's
Those
still
are
in
Mark
baseball.
McGuire's
Because
words.
he's still in baseball. What else is he going to say? But here's the thing you got to agree. He saved the game. I'm at Three Rivers Stadium. They've never done this before or after. When he hit the 69 and 70, they put it on the Jumbotron. During the Stiller game, they put it on the Jumbotron, man. People were going nuts. He saved the game after that strike year. You got to admit, I always said that's the only player I would ever pay to go see is Mark McGuire.
And you
The baseball
did.
staff
And you
in the
didn't.
back.
So what the
and
heck's
you
that
did.
matter?
Yes,
Yeah.
and there you go.
You didn't make it. Thanks, Smoking Jim, for your insights as usual.
Penguins are up 2-0.
We're still against the juice, even if it was clear. Thank you, Chip Hayner.
Penguins are up 2-0.
Look at Al Levine. You got a portrait.
I know. Thank you. What are we going to?
What are we going to?
Oh,
You.
I can go.
We're going to half the screen with Al.
What happened to this? I'll try to move up a little. Well,
There
let
you
me
go.
get back. Okay.
Okay.
What? Wait,
Okay, wait.
what?
There I
Okay.
am. There I'm not. Yeah.
There, we got it now. All right, on location. Veterans Day, November 11th, 7:30 to 8:30, Olive Oil's Pizzeria. Me and Smokin' Jim got some guests lined up, so check it out. We may even get Dan J., local guy, moved
That's
back.
my man.
We may get him on. I asked him and invited him on Facebook. He said if he's in town, he'll come out. He's an expert on boxing and many sports, so it'd be great to have him on the show. He said he'd love to be on the show. So we'll see what happens. Got Jamie Chesney coming on the show.
Yes.
Couple MMA fighters. You saw that Josh knock his guy out in the first minute of the MMA fights at Princescape. He's going to be on the show. And a young lady that Jamie's training, Raven is her name. She's 17 years old. She's going to be fighting her first MMA fight coming up. So we'll have them on the show, and that's a great show. And then
Where's the show at?
this will be Olive Oil's Pizzeria,
Gotta love
930 Brookline Boulevard.
Gotta love the Ravens.
Pardon me?
Gotta love the Ravens.
We're talking about a young lady named Raven.
Okay.
Yeah, you're a little off track there. But you can love Baltimore just like you love the Browns. What happened to the Browns? Never mind.
Division-winning Browns.
I digress a little bit, but they're below us, so I don't know what happened to Smokin' Jim. He doesn't wear Browns clothes anymore. I don't even know what he's dressing up as now. And for Halloween, it's going to be a little rainy. Stop at Smokin' Jim's house in Monroeville. I don't know the address, but he has plenty of candy and
Yes.
different things for you, so stop on by. He's in a white neighborhood. That's the only thing I know about him. He has white neighbors, so I don't know much else about it, but go to Smokin' Jim's house on Halloween. All right, please. Then I do have a show that I'm working with Judge Arnone, and it's going to be sometime in December, maybe the first week of December. It's going to be a sort of a fundraising show. I talked to the Kidney Foundation people, a couple nice young ladies. We're on a Sarah Mosen show, and one of them contacted me, and she goes, I'd love to do the show, and we'll try to raise some money, and we'll help you there. So we're going to have a show at a local place in Bethel Park. We're still working on that. When I find out exactly, we'll tell you. So stay tuned for a Pittsburgh Sportsline special fundraising edition show in December. So check it out. And we'll be back. Let's talk some Penguin talk, if we can, on the way back.
We're in the Stanley Cup final for the second year in a row, and here's Yager with the puck. Yager, nice move around Brett Sutter to the backhand. Let's it go, he scores!
Yeah. Welcome back, everybody. Look at that great shot, that great haircut. Thank you very much. Truly blessed. I forgot to tell you, I'm going to an autism fundraiser at Redbeard's on 6th Street, downtown Pittsburgh, tomorrow night from like 6 o'clock till 10 or 11 o'clock. Bill Kai is sponsoring this show. He's a great lawyer in the Pittsburgh area, does a lot of great things in the community. Somehow Smokin' Jim got me there as a celebrity judge, said, hey, Machine, we're both going to be celebrity judges. Then I'm with him Saturday night, and he goes, hey, Machine, I'm not going to be there as a celebrity judge. I go, what am I supposed to do? He goes, you just be there. So come out to Redbeard's. I think it's $20 donation. It helps support autism and to help autistic people, so it's a great cause. And I'm going to be judging some Christmas costumes with Dan Bogan, who's filling in for Smokin' Jim, and then another guy or girl's going to be a judge also. There's 3 judges.
I'll be there in spirit.
No, you won't. Smokin' Jim lied again. All right, back to Penguins. They're playing tonight. They're winning.
Penguins are playing the hated Flyers.
2-0.
Biggest in-state rival. Penguins are up 2-0 in the first period. Jared McCann has scored a goal. Justin
Good.
Schultz has scored a goal.
Wow.
Dominic Cahoon with 2 assists.
And they were just
this
talking
evening.
about last week that Cahoon hadn't shown anything in the
Brian-
last few games.
Brian Rust is back off the injured reserve, and he's got an assist already. But, you know, the Flyers are only sporting a 5-4-1 record. The Penguins are 7-5. You know, but
And they've been playing a good game.
anytime the Penguins and the Flyers play, throw the records out the window. These are 2 teams that have hated each other for decades.
Forever.
Because the Flyers, for several decades, owned the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah.
And I mean, and they took the Penguins before Mario finally broke the curse.
There was a curse.
Yeah,
Wow.
and the times have changed because Sidney Crosby has generally had good performances against the Flyers. I think he's got a little bit of a grudge for them not
They
selecting
constantly
him.
yell out his name when they're in filthy.
Oh yeah, but so
Philadelphia.
they're playing down at the Paint Can tonight. That's here in Pittsburgh, Jim. In case you're wondering,
Is Malkin coming back soon?
Saturday.
Malkin may be against Edmonton on Saturday. That game's in the afternoon, so you won't be able to get your beauty sleep in the afternoon.
No, you'll miss it.
Yeah. But the Penguins, they're performing about up to expectations. Made
They've
a
been
trade
playing
this
some nice
past week.
games.
Yeah, they made a trade to get them some room under the cap.
Yeah.
They got rid of Gabranson, but the Penguins are trotting along.
Yeah, they got some nice, speedy young players, and they're playing an aggressive game.
And they seem to be playing a little bit more intelligently than they played last year. Last year, they led the league in giving up on-man rushes and shorthanded goals, and that does not seem to be something that they're doing so much
No.
of this year. So
Not as
they're
much.
playing more of the game that the coach wants to see them play, and the results are there.
Did they play Las Vegas this year?
Yes.
Yes, they did, and they got shut out by Marc-Andre Fleury. Okay,
The curse.
The curse exists.
It's
Next.
for real.
Yep. But on another note, big news coming out
Say
of PNC Park yesterday. Bob Nutting fired Neil Huntington, which means that a complete makeover is now going to be done for the Pittsburgh Pirates
He cleaned house.
management state. And believe me, this needed to happen. Clint Hurdle being terminated at the end of the season. Yes, you can see the reasons why that happened. How Neil Huntington didn't get terminated at the same time, I questioned at the time, and I've questioned every day since. But Bob Nutting talked to the president, Frank Coonelly, into resigning last week, and he had his eyes set on Travis Williams, who was a COO for the Penguins
Right.
for 6 or 8 years. And, while he was steering the Penguins ship, he steered them to over 552 consecutive sellouts. So, there will be some changes made with the Pirates. The new president of the team will have the option of hiring his general manager.
Sure.
It really would have been kind of laughable to hire a new president of the team and not have him hire his general
been
manager.
awkward, sure.
It would have been awkward, and it would have been even harder for the general manager who's just fired to hire a manager, knowing that the general manager was on the thinnest of ice possible. Who would want to take that kind of a position? So some changes are going to be made to the way the Pirates do business, and they're wiping the slate clean. And one of the comments that I heard Travis Williams make, when of course, the narrative always goes back to you don't spend enough money, but we really don't know how much money is spent on the operations.
Nutting made a comment on that it's been misrepresented.
Well, but the narrative always goes back to you need to spend more money. Well, you know what? There are teams that aren't spending that much more money that are being successful. Now, I'll give you 2 teams for an example who've consistently had 85-plus wins over the last 10 years, the Tampa Bay Rays and the Oakland A's.
Yeah.
And if these are 2 teams that have no more resources than what we have and they're able to do it, we're going to be looking into their business models.
Get a general manager from those teams.
Well, you're going to look at their business models and what are they doing and what can we do a little bit better, because the Pirates fell behind the curve. At one point, Neil Huntington, Clint Hurdle, Frank Coonelly, were on the cutting edge. And, 2011, 2012, it produced 3 playoff teams back to back to back. But as the other teams caught up to them and then passed them, the Pirates didn't change with the times. And subsequently, we're in the place that we're at now.
In our minor leagues, we haven't developed players really.
Right.
That's one of the things with being as big as they are in Latin America. They're not getting those players.
Well, and
you don't even get them through the draft. You just get them through the communities.
Another thing that I held on to that Travis Williams said is that, change is going to happen. It already is.
Yeah.
This isn't going to happen overnight. It's not like
It's
I'm
a
going to flip a
process.
switch
Yeah.
and we're going to be in the World Series next year.
True.
But They, he's got a plan, and this is what the Pirates fans wanted to see, to keep on trotting out the same trio, and let's not forget, a big shout out and a big thank you to Neil Huntington, Clint Hurdle, and Frank Coonley, because they did the impossible. They ended 20 years of losing, and they made this city fall back in love again with the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's why their fall from grace has upset so many of the fan base so much, because everybody had given up on the Pirates. 20 years we were the laughingstock. Mm-hmm. All anybody did was make jokes of them. And then all of a sudden, the Phoenix rose from the ashes. And everybody realized how important the Pirates were and how much we loved the team. And then to let it fall from there back again was something that people couldn't really stomach.
After that 98 game winning season,
yes,
to see what happened then, that was upsetting to me
each
year.
It was inexcusable, and and as a lifelong Pirate fan.
Will it take another 20 years?
No.
No, okay.
No, absolutely not.
Maybe 10.
And you know what? I can't put a time frame on it, Jim.
Yeah, me
neither. I mean, the Pirates have a core of a bunch of good young players on the team right now. Let's see what's going to happen. First thing they got to do, they got to hire a general manager. Once they hire a general manager, then the general manager can hire a major league manager. Okay, and then you can see okay, what are we going to do? What is our plan? Is that in place right now? None of it is. So the only thing that we can do is people can talk, they can guess. I'm going to sit back and watch what happens.
Well, Smoking Jim will add something negative, because I know he's
I'm
looking.
Sure he will.
He's looking for that, because he's not a true baseball fan. He did get free tickets.
Let me tell you something.
I don't know
He's
why.
not a true Pittsburgh sports fan. He criticizes everybody.
Gateway.
Well, they're not Pittsburgh.
That's Monroeville.
That's Monroeville.
Right next to Penn Hills.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you knew
Just
that.
north of McKeesport.
Yeah.
Sandwiched in between Franklin Regional.
Yeah. Right in that area.
with Plum nipping at their heels.
Smoking Jim, you want to talk any boxing about Saturday night? Some things are happening. What about our man Michael Manna, his last fight?
Well, I tell you what, probably the greatest, sports writer in Pittsburgh history, next to Myron Cope. A lot of people don't realize how great of a writer Myron Cope was. Gene Collier wrote a 2-page story on Mike Manna in the Sunday paper, man, which was awesome. He's fighting his last fight, the Pittsburgh Bull. And I tell you what, I couldn't be more excited. Excited to see Johnny Spell.
Yeah.
He's down to 126 pounds. And
is that the young boy?
Yeah.
I remember. I remember we interviewed him 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah, with his dad.
He was just a
young kid.
He was a young boy. Yeah.
Man, he got a really good-looking girlfriend now.
That's good. That means something.
That might have held him back a little bit. And
I heard it did.
Hey, a shout out to the Sweet Child. Lost the split decision.
Went
down in the first round. Was able to get up, man, and fought courageously and split decision, man, in Nevada. So.
Yeah, you just never know when you step up to the big stage in TV.
Yeah.
So I give him credit, and he said he'll be back. He put a big paragraph out there that he learned something from it, and he's going to work on it, and don't give up on him. He's going to come back and fight some more.
Yeah.
So that's great to hear that. We got many fights to see on Saturday night.
Can't wait.
Yep. Mike McSorley puts on a heck of a show.
Will Jamie be there?
I think.
Yes.
Hey, just an update, folks. First period, Penguins up 4-0.
Excellent.
Crosby with a goal and assist in the first period.
And who would even think he's been in, how many years? 12 years in the league?
Sid, longer than that.
14 maybe?
14. That's
14, that's right. At 18 he come in.
Yeah, he's in his
32.
30s. He's not Sid the Kid anymore.
And he's still going up and down that ice, even on defense, so it's great. Hey, thanks for watching our show. Thanks for putting up with Smoking Jim without the sunglasses from Stevie Wonder. Thanks for our expert pirate guy, Chip Hayner. This is Al Levine, the Talking Machine. Please stay Joey strong.